Hi, welcome to Ask a Gender Therapist. This is a video series where I answer your transgender questions from the point of view of a gender therapist. I am Dara Hoffman-Fox, your host, and I'm a licensed professional counselor in Colorado. Well, this week's question comes from Jordan in Missouri. Let's get right into it. Jordan says, I was dating a girl not too long ago. She told me anyone who identifies as trans is fake if they do not want to take hormones or seek sex reassignment surgery. I said that is not true. They are still trans. There are plenty of people who do not seek the surgical procedures or hormone therapy. So then Jordan goes on to explain how he approached this with her, and he was left feeling very frustrated by the encounter because she still didn't believe what he was saying. So then he asks, how would you answer that question to someone who considers a trans person fake because they choose not to seek the treatments of hormones and or sex reassignment surgery? I know I can't stand up for everyone, but this one is a bit mind-boggling. Hope you can help. So this is definitely a transgender-related question, but it also involves communication in general. And so this is a answer that can be applied to probably many other situations in which you find yourself having a disagreement with somebody about a topic that means a lot to you. So let's go ahead and break it down a bit. The first step you actually need to be able to take with this person is decide if it's really worth your time and energy to have this conversation with this person. So how do you go about doing that? Well, for one, it depends on how long you've known this person or how well you know this person. Have you been able to already observe for a while what their personality is like? How are they in other conversations or debates with other people? Does it seem like that they are going to be open to listening to you? Are they going to be, willing to hear your side of things? Or are they pretty much going to be very firmly set in their belief no matter what? You can even ask them flat out right, and say, look, before we have this conversation, I need to know, is this really a lost cause? Are you pretty stuck on your belief? Or are you open to maybe having conversation about this? And so once you do that, and you decide, okay, I'm going to go ahead and still have this conversation with this person, and just keep in mind that at any point during the conversation, you can bow out. You can start it, and if you're like, you know what, there's just way too much resistance that I'm running against, I'm just not going to have this conversation with this person. It's kind of a hard thing to realize, is that you may not actually be able to convince that person, but sometimes it's best for you and your health and well-being to be able to step back and walk away from that conversation. But again, let's say you do decide to have that conversation with this person. The first thing I suggest you do is that you get clear on definitions with one another. So one of the words that was used is trans. So what you need to do is ask the other person, first of all, let's make sure we are both in agreement of what it means to be trans. What does it mean to you? And then you listen to what they have to say about it, and then you then share if you are in agreement, which more than likely you're not, because that's the whole reason there's an argument happening. So at that point, you share what your belief is of what it means to be trans. Now, I call it a belief, but if you're talking about someone who is trans, meaning there's the transgender umbrella, there's underneath it the gender binary system of male and female, but then you also have the entire gender spectrum of being gender variant, non-binary. This is a definition that medical and mental health professionals across the world are coming into agreement with, that this is the definition of trans. So again, even though it may be your belief of what it means to be trans, it's also very much being put out there as the definition of it in many professional circles. So let's say you're talking to this person about what it means to be trans and what that definition is, and they continue to say, well, I don't think that's what it means to be trans. Then you kind of can say that's another decision point in the conversation for you. You get to decide, okay, Now at this point, we clearly have very significant problem here in which we disagree about what it even means to be trans. You then decide, okay, do I continue this conversation or not? More than likely, if you're going to continue this conversation, it's going to continue kind of in a different direction, because you're then going to probably want to start getting more into the relationship with the person. So let's say this is somebody you're dating, and it is important to you that they hear you, or that you let them know how you feel about what they're saying. That's what needs to come next. Again, you would share with them how their opinion about this affects you, and how it's going to affect your relationship with that person. Jordan is saying that the girl that he was dating was using the word fake, and that's a pretty hard word to hear from somebody that you are in a relationship with. They're saying basically, at this point, we're saying maybe she's not calling Jordan fake, but Jordan was basically saying, look, what if this was me? Are you saying then I would be fake? So it gets very personal. And so at that point, you share how this is affecting you, and you see if the person you're talking to cares or not about that. The thing is, this is just one conversation at this point, and what can happen next is you can stop and try to find a point in which maybe you both can agree. You can also stop and say, look, apparently we're getting a little heated up here. I think it'd be best if we table this conversation for now, but I want to pick it up again. You could say in an hour, tomorrow, maybe this weekend. But if it's something that is important to you to bring up again, you do need to let them know that you do want to talk about this again, but that maybe it just needs to go ahead and be paused for right now. And again, you might just decide that you need to agree to disagree. And at that point, you then have another decision to make, which is this a person I want to continue having a relationship with? And that might not be an answer you have right away. It might depend on if there are going to be more conversations about this in the future, and how do those conversations go. It depends on what your relationship is with this person, if it is somebody that would be easy to be able to release from your life or not. But basically, Jordan did mention that in the end, he ended up not staying in a relationship with this person. So Jordan, you may have actually gone through all these steps already without even knowing it, that really sometimes is the best way to handle it if you encounter this situation. So thanks for sending that question, and that was, it's definitely one that I've heard before, so hopefully this is one that others can gain some insight into now that you've heard the answer. So that's it for this episode. Feel free to check out my blog at conversationswithagendertherapist.com, and you can email me your questions at darahoffmanfox@gmail.com, and in the subject area, go ahead and put Ask a Gender Therapist question. One more thing before I let you go, I do want to dedicate this episode to Matt Cayley. Matt Cayley was the author of the Tranifesto blog. I actually mentioned that blog on my April 24th episode. Sadly, Matt Cayley passed away on May 17th, and I wrote a tribute on my blog to him that you can check out. So even though I'm dedicating this episode to him, I know that in the future I'm going to be dedicating so much of my work to him as well. So rest in peace, Matt Cayley.